Sir, you can proceed, sir.
All of you are getting my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Is my slides are visible?
Not yet, sir.
Okay. Hello. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. In last session, we have gone through the IoT part, okay, where we are gathering the information. So, what the information you got from the last session? We will just try to implement those in further analytical part. Okay, analytical part, that means how will we come to know the different application part of their further use of those data. Means now using the temperature sensor and other humidity sensor or current or voltage or power information, means by the different kind of sensors, if we proceed further, what will we do of that data? Okay, so main concern is that how will we use that data? So one answer is that we will use some intelligent technique to make it further useful for either for the data interpretation, controlling devices, management, or simple for the classification of different faults or different power quality issues in power system. Because as we are using our electrical vehicles, so our common concern is that it is having the adverse effect on our power system. Its quality is being differed, means our the sinusoidal waveform which actually required is deformed over there. Another application may be by using this tool, or especially the machine learning tool, we can use that proper fault location, or you can say the heat interpretation, or the classification of different sections fault. Okay, so further application of this machine learning, which is a sub part of artificial intelligence, is focused on a specific application of the classification. Okay, classification, and this classification, especially having the different kinds of signal processing tool by which you can classify our different kind of problems, isn't it? So in this session, we will use the basic concept of electrical charging station, then the power quality issue, artificial intelligence, machine learning in EV based power system, classification of power quality disturbances, and further we will analyze the faults diagnosis in solar panel which is associated of somewhat EV, electrical vehicle charging stations. So this is our major concern. So we'll go through, if we are talking about the power system, you can say the electrical charging station. So main structure we can go for the electrical charging. So electrical power is coming from the grid, or you can say nowadays the smart grid concept is very much popular. So from the smart grid technology, it must be economical, secure, reliable, and good quality of power is required in the scenario of the electrical vehicle charging also. Because what is happening over there, as a conventional load, as a light load, or the motors, pumps, or any other electrical load which consumes the active power over there. But if we are using continuously penetrating the electrical vehicles in our system, so the system become more rigorous in this way to get disturb the main grid, which is known as the smart grid or DC grid. And if this grid instability problem occurs over there, so we'll have to find out certain methods to identify or classify those power quality disturbances. You can say the power quality disturbances. Okay, so this classification method is similarly used for the classification of different power quality issues. The same method can be used to detect the fault of solar PV cells. The same method is detect to the abnormal behavior of the battery or charge control system which is being used in our electrical vehicles. So I have just bring a small concept, or you can say the machine learning concept, which is a branch of the artificial intelligence that will give you the glimpse of how to utilize the classification part using the support vector machine. So that is our target. So we'll start with our modern structure, and our location will just identify that where would be the charging station. Okay, because the charging station is facing a lot of problem while we are using the electrical vehicles. So here our load is connected with the different kinds of load: domestic load, industrial load, consumers. So the electrical vehicles will directly situated over there, isn't it? So, and this system is interconnected with the power network, transmission network, and a generation network. And our small hydro plant, our large industry, wind power, solar power, all the plants are giving the backup, and this channel is now the two-way channel, not the single way. Earlier the classical model was the one-way transmission, generation, transmission, and distribution directly from higher to lower end. But now every end we are having the power source. Our individual houses acting as a power source. Our vehicles, electrical vehicles, are acting as a power source, because nowadays vehicle to grid concept is also come up in the modern scenario, isn't it? So that is a very much popular, that we are having the basic concept of EV, grid to vehicle and vehicle to grid concept. Okay, so here I'll just give you a brief idea that while while we are connecting our supply, okay, while we are connecting our supply to a system, basically earlier that was the one-way connection from this, okay, and at this point now we are having the EVs, electrical vehicles, as a domestic load, and this domestic load, battery is connected, battery is charging through the modern scenario of it. So here the main grid suffers, the main grid which is connected at the distribution end with the electric charge station, that behave abnormal due to the various kinds of disturbances like faults or sag, swell, or harmonics, or breakage of the points, or you can say that again harmful for the battery converter system if these small disturbances are persist over there. So this is our charging station where we can charge our vehicle. In the previous section, we have just discussed about the sensors. So this particularly, you can say, are you able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So earlier, from the sensors, we gathered the data of temperature. We get data, gathered the information from voltage or current. We gather the deformation or the cracks, smoke, sound, or any kind of the database we have generated from the sensor element. Okay, so we have collected using the, you can say, the IoT node or the wire based sensor, and getting the information. After getting this information, what will we do? We will just send them to analyze it, whether this data is being pre-processed. Pre-process, that means that will filter out the data, that which data is important, that that will classify the temperature, voltage, current, smoke, or sound. So just clear cut indication or indicators, or you can say the features are required. So this pre-processing data, then further features, then class, which class of data is available over there. Okay, there is supply problem in power quality, there is some difference or breakage in vehicle itself, EV damage, third, environmental means this particular classification scheme is to be suggested to classify the different kinds of power quality disturbances, EV damage, or environmental. Okay, and this classification may be individual also. So basic concept is that while we use the intelligent technique, they are used either for the regression, that means prediction, or for the classification of different faults or the different disturbances in power system or different environmental condition. As we are focused on the, we are focused on what? We are focused on the electrical vehicle charging stations. So these stations are basically having the converters, AC to DC converter, and it is directly feed to our system, our electrical vehicles. In electrical vehicles also, DC to AC, and AC drive is already there. If drive is already there, you'll have to manage the drive, and due to that also the disturbances may occur. Okay, so that is the main target overview of it. So how will how will we implement? By using the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is the science of the automation intelligent behavior presently accomplished by the computer interface with the machine like robots, and it is the machine to machine communication, machine to machine instruction. That means the data can deal them as per the instruction, command or sequence or program, which are intellectually behaving. Okay, so the artificial general intelligence is the intelligence hypothetical machine or computer which can accomplish by the intellectual assignments successfully, which a human can accomplish. Means they are replacing the humans while the decision making is our prime factor. Okay, so in a broad sense, we can say that artificial intelligence, neural network, and machine learning. So you have attended this course, so you are quite familiar with these terms, that what's some artificial intelligence, what a machine learning, what is a neural network, deep learning. So these are the modern concept of the cutting edge technologies. And as far as in a broad way, if we consider these intelligent techniques, artificial intelligence, machine learning, so we just say that okay, artificial intelligence, they cover up all the machine learning also and other types of learning also, apart from the expert systems. Okay, so while we go through this basic concept, so we broadly say that artificial intelligence AI techniques are just divided into three groups. One is the optimization, second is the classification, and third is the prediction. Okay, so as far the optimization techniques are available, so we come take into account of our optimizing any system like GA technique or other technique, particle swamp optimization. These are various techniques are there. And machine learning, basically we use the machine learning for the classification to classify the different classes. Okay, this is particular type of the system. This is the particular type of the nature of the electrical vehicles. Okay, so we can just identify or classify the system using the machine learning. So there are proposed various methods or data processing techniques are available to process our data to classify as per our need. So the applications here in case of as nowadays the electrical vehicle charging station is globally connected in our conventional power system, so there is a economical load there are many more things are happening over there. So load dispatch problem, generation and operation and planning, and load forecasting, as loads are nowadays EV. Electrical vehicles are just penetration of electrical vehicles, so the hydrothermal generation. So so these generations are collaborated with the various loads. Okay, so the new kind of problems are arising over there to be analyzed. So here in the transmission capacity, optimal power, power limit, reliability, so all the effects being arises in our conventional and smart grid power system. Why? Because there is too much automation here. This word you can observe that there is too much automation of the power system, restoration, fault diagnosis in the sense at the line fault also, in case of the solar PV fault also, and you can say that now we have connected our electrical vehicles, and these electrical vehicles are also working as a source. Nowadays what is happening? A vehicle to grid concept. Vehicle to grid concept is also coming over there. Earlier this was grid to vehicle. That means you can just charge your vehicle by using the grid line or power line. But nowadays what is happening? Grid vehicle to grid also means vehicle again feeding the power to the grid, when it is set idly, means in the night time, if your vehicle is not working over there, so that battery which is installed over there, that will feed the energy to the grid. Okay, so at the backup time, it is acting as a source. So nowadays the concept have been clearly changed in the scenario of smart grid. So the smart control, smart operation, and other things are very much important. And here the due to the load has increased, or you can say we have just observed that while we were using the electrical vehicles, simply the conventional IC engine just replaced. Okay, I'm not talking about the hybrid vehicles where both the IC engine and your electrical machines and electrical system, electrical motors are involved over there to deliver the power. But purely electrical vehicles, nowadays purely electrical vehicles are come with the different cutting edge technologies. You have seen that recently the new vehicles have been launched over there, electrical vehicles, Tata Nexon, MG Motors, Hector, or other new companies are just moving towards to develop the electrical vehicles. If they develop the purely electrical vehicles, they charge within 50-30 minutes. Okay, within 50-30 minutes means fast charging. If they're using the fast charging methods, overall their impact on the power system or power grid, which is already available with us. Okay, so the proliferation of this large computer system or the hardware which involve the inverter converter section or the high switching devices, so automatically the power quality problem, harmonics, and the waveform change occurs in our system. So that is the importance of the power quality issue. So power quality, that means it is changing the quality of power, means it is inserting the low quality power or deviating the waveform, or frequency is changing if we use the electrical vehicles continuously. Okay, so these are some specific power quality monitoring schemes. So I'll just give you an example, because here we can just observe that power quality means what? We are saying power quality is changing the voltage waveform and other things. So I'm just giving you the example over here. Just example. Yeah. Suppose our power is this one. Okay. Sinusoidal. This is V, and this is time difference. Okay. So amplitude, and the time period was 50 hertz. So this amplitude was same, and the frequency was also same. But if you are using the electrical vehicles or other major loads, so what will happen? This will, for some time, it will give the reduce down, because the charging stations are work on there and draw more and more power. So at that level or at this point, this voltage level is suddenly reduced down. Okay, so this is the one example of sag. Okay, if sag is happening over there, that means there is some problem of PQ, power quality. Okay, so in a broad sense, I'm just telling you what is the power quality. If suppose sometimes it happens that if you want to manage or just analyze the breakage of any system, or you can say the analyze on the bearing fault or any faults in your battery management system, or any breakage of your shaft. Suppose you are mechanical engineer, so you say that okay, there is a breakage in a shaft, and you will have to identify it or classify it which type of breakage is there, or you can say the which type of friction is there. So at this time, if you say that okay, one continuous line was there and any friction or breakage comes across it, so it will just indicate that some difference in straight line or DC voltage, there is a in signal difference. So you'll have to capture this signal and analyze it and make it specific features, so that you can identify that this type of fault has occurred. Okay, if there is a fault, so it will give you the information in terms of graphics or the waveform that after that moment when we were voltage were considered over there or any other parameter, it was continuous, but at the time of fault it having the disturbances, and these are the specific features. So these features would be involved for any classification method. Okay, so main objective is that to get the features for problem oriented classification. Your problem is fault detection, your problem is power quality monitoring, your problem is the breakage or the uneven operation of the electrical vehicle. So we can apply this concept in different ways. Okay, so as per discussion, there is a roughly 4 sections are here: reprocessing, then feature extraction I discuss over here, classification. So classification is a major tool where we classify the system, how your fault is classified in different 2 categories, and further is the decision making. Okay, now we can finally design that it is a minor fault, so it is repairable, and if decision say that okay, it is a major repair or major fault, so it is unrepairable. So this is the kind of decision making. So this will have to plan earlier. Okay, so some classical methods for classification is neural network, fuzzy logic, expert system, support vector machines, Bayesian classifier, nearest neighbor, k nearest neighbor. So these are the very classical methods are basically being utilized for the classification only. Okay, so we have picked up the support vector machines for the classification part, as it has the various advantages than other methods. Support vector machines, other machines, you can say the soft computing techniques like ANN, having the low speed problem, and other like fuzzy logic, it is a difficult to modeling. Okay, and expert system can deal with the large amount of data, difficult to make the conclusion, and Bayesian classifier, the Gaussian probability density function is there, so highly computational cost, and k nearest neighbor, good classification but less accuracy. So by viewing this kind of disadvantage, we have, for the study purpose, we have chosen the support vector machine. So what is the support vector machine? We just have a look over there. The support vector machine is a popular and effective classification tool problems to solve the problem of classification, and it minimizes the, so the basic concept is what? It minimizes the generalization error. Okay, error of structural risk minimization. Structural risk, when it minimizes, then automatically this minimizes the error, and due to that fact, it is able to separate 2 data efficiently. So the complexity of the classifier associated with the BC dimension, it is popularly known as the Lipkin-Chavik dimension, and binary classifier. Binary, that means it will just use the 0-1 concept. Okay, binary classifier, that means it will just separate out the information when it uses 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So it will just identify or classifier while this condition will occur. If 2 data are there, AB data, If 0 0 it will not respond, 1 1 it will not respond. Only it will respond for the 0 1 or 1 0, means unbalancing is here, so that will respond. And further, it is a supervised learning. It learns from the examples. Means already you have to pick up the feed the example that okay, this is this kind of the information, or this is the faulty condition and this is a healthy condition. Then you trained this machine, okay, your support vector machine, then that will give you the exact information over there. How it works? It having the perception layers are the features, as already discussed, that it having the two feature spaces. One is this, suppose this is a x1, x2, these are two features, features 1 and this is the feature 2, and it is easily separable. Agar hum log, we are just saying that there are the two data can be easily separated and identify that okay, this is the one kind of fault, that is a fault in bearing, and this is fault in shaft, okay. And these are the specific feature lines. They are indicating that okay, if they are present in this side, so this would be fault in shaft, and if this is persist in this side, so that will be bearing fault in case of the electrical vehicles when their arrangement of the wheel alignment. Okay, so this can be particularly fall in terms of other problem like power quality also. Like in power quality also we say that okay, sine wave, pure sine wave, if there is a default like sag, as discussed earlier, the sag, the voltage level is reduced down, so that will clearly separatable that okay, this side, this is the this side, this is a particular sine wave, and here it is a sag. So any kind of the problem, if we can observe over there, so we can just have two data set, we assign them as a feature 1, feature 2, and classify. So in this method, we try to have a common point, or you can say this is the one plane or line which is just separating two data set. Okay, one set is blue data set, there is a red data set, and at wx plus b is 0. That means that is a middle point at which we are just marking a line. It is known as a hyperplane. Hyperplane. Okay, and this hyperplane, I'm just giving the other notation of it, just writing over there. One is hyperplane. If some data is more than this level, so this will come in this group, and if some data is less than 0, so this will come in this particular group, which is the blue dots. Okay, so this hyperplane will decide create a margin over there. So how we will select the optimal separatable line? So we'll just choose the different line and choose one specific line which having the exactly same difference or the notation of support vectors, and support vectors are nearby data, very nearby data to the hyperplane. So hyperplane was this. Yeah, this middle line is the hyperplane. Okay, so nearest data is this one, blue near to the this line, blue line, and red near to the blue line. So these nearest data, these data are used as a support vector. So this is support vector, this is support vector, and this is support vector, because this is very near to the hyperplane. This is hyperplane, or you can say the imaginary line which is separating two data. So we'll have to find out only these support vectors, that okay, this is the nearest support vectors, and after that, whatever the data is there, that is the due to that fault. Okay, so only these numbers we'll have to identify. That is the just theory behind the support vector machines, because we'll have to identify the support vectors. So these are the support vectors nearby the hyperplane, and some basic mathematical operation to just separable them more than 0 value or less than 0 value, so that hyperplane can be satisfied over there through the wattage. B, this in the formulation we can see the wattage, and the B is the distance, and rho is the margin. See the earlier example over there. See this rho is this margin. Okay, X the separable data. This is separatable data, and R is the distance. This is the separable data. R is the distance here. W is wattage. X is that particular data point. B is the base from that particular data set. Okay, so we'll move further. We have formulated the system, and further we have formulated the main functional minimization. Okay, so the coordinate optimization process being along there. So in the MATLAB, if you use the MATLAB, so there is a readily toolbox is available which deal with the classification. You'll have to just feed the data of the classification and their type. Okay, there is a pure data, pure sine wave, or this is this kind of signal, and they merge the data and it will give you the output as a classified manner. Okay, so some soft margin data is also available. So using the soft margin data, you'll have to create some data will be shifted toward the other group. So that is called the soft margin. Here you can see that blue dots are inserting in the red dots, and some red dots is inserting in the blue dots. So it is soft margin classifier. So in the soft margin classifier, you will have to use the stack variable constant. Okay, so this stack variable constant we have to measure it, and which is responsible to identify the mismatched data. Okay, so if any mismatched data is there, so you'll identify as a stack variable I over there. So it is a soft margin data for the misclassification, and it is due to the noise in our system for the calculation. And only is here you'll have to, when you solve it, you'll have to select certain kernel points. Kernel points means they are specified that which type of data sets are available to solve specific problems. Okay, so that you'll have to select the data that may be either for the linear, either for the radial basis data. So these terms will you will encounter while you study about the support vector machines. Okay, so what are the kernels, what are the hyperplane, what are the margin. Okay, so these are very particular terms which belongs to the support vector machines. Okay, so again, for the classifier, it is either one dimensional, two dimensional, or one dimensional, multi-dimensional. So if it is not separable, you make one more dimension to get it separated. It is the main function to just increase the dimension to separate it. Suppose this data is not separable by simple features, because the 4 coordinates are here and data is spread it over. So what will you do? You just change the dimension. Earlier it was a 2-dimensional set, so now you made the 3-dimensional set. So by using the hyperplane concept, we just able to visualize that some data is upper side and some data is lower side, and this separatable data or hyperplane imaginary line you can observe over there, and in this way it can be separated. Okay, so this particular can be achieved by the data set if we are having readily available and going through the toolbox which is available in our MATLAB software, and you place over there. You have to select the data set and type of classification method, So it will just perfectly separated those non-linear data also. Suppose the red and blue, and it will just convert it into mapping, means increasing the dimension, and data is separable now. Okay, further is the kernel trick. So in the kernel trick, I was just saying you that one method is the kernel function having for the 2-dimension and 3-dimension. How can you suddenly change it? You can change it by using the kernel trick. And for this kernel trick, you'll have to go through some simple mapping format. So some linear mapping format, polynomial mapping format, and radial basis mapping format. So for the linearly separable data, we use simple line to classify the different sets. Okay, and for this radial basis, you just for separating them out, we use the encircled. So for this purpose, the encircled circular graph is available. So here we use the radial basis function. So sometimes this is useful to separatable the linear one, and sometimes it is the circular one is useful over there, isn't it? So it is very much popular, and enhancement of this is appeared while we separate out two types of data set. Maybe the data for any kind of the problem, it is based on the huge data set which is available with us to play with it. It is it. There is a supervised learning, so that we must know that it is a healthy section, it is unhealthy section, what are their different features, and if you know the features, you have to optimize them, or we'll have to classify them, and accordingly it will give you the plotting over there. Okay, so some example set I have just done with the taking the two data sets of the linear basis and the radial basis data. So it is a two examples taken by the MATLAB data set, and some data set which is created by own by using the hardware of sine wave or the other waves. And here also we can just take up the two data of the different kind of faults, okay, so that we can design our own system. So it is a one just information that how we can retrieve the information, and after that how we can utilize those data which we have got from the IoT setup. Okay, temperature, fault, voltage, whatever the sense data we are readily available on the cloud, how can we analyze it? So further we can use it for the classification method which we have discussed over here. So I think you gotten some idea about it, because it is a kind of the computational or you can say the programming part. So I have just give you the specific point of view, isn't it? Because machine learning, that means you are dealing with the computer science or the classification methods or programming part. So I have touched up this area also. So if you have any queries or other things, so you can just ask me. I have just discussed the brief method and how to implement it using the MATLAB. Is it clear? My voice is clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. As the time was limited over there also, so that's why I have not included the programming part over here, isn't it? Otherwise, I was thinking that I should add some tools, MATLAB tools, and show the demo of it also. But it would be lengthy session if I add the demo of the programming of the classifier, isn't it? So I have just given a brief idea that how can implement for the classification scheme. Basic scheme is that for the classification of different faults or quality issue or other issue related to the electrical vehicle charging station. So I think you have an idea that how will we use this concept apart from the other concept like AI techniques for the optimization and other one. So it is a another area of the AI, artificial intelligence. So if you have any query or any want to know about it, so I'll just give the answer.
Okay, participants, if you have any query or question, you can proceed. So, okay. So, sir, thank you very much for your session, sir. In the two sessions, we have discussed about the IoT and also the yeah, about the AI, that is artificial intelligence in the IoT. So both the sessions were very informative sessions, sir. And thank you to be a part of this teachers training program. And sir, we will connect with you in the future also.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me for this prestigious collaboration of your series of the faculty development program. And I have also enjoyed with really very nice audience. They interacted with me. Thank you all for the organizers. Congratulations to the organizations also and organizers also, because it's a very nice program. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day, sir.
So should I leave now?